Narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths. And this is prolific. Like you're talking, the numbers that you were mentioning before, they are everywhere.
Yes.
Give us an example. Like you said,
Of the
200,000?
Okay, well, we'll talk about them in order of best case scenario people to deal with and worst case scenario. So we'll start out with narcissists. So narcissists actually believe that they are superior to other people. They are...
But I am.
Are you kidding me?
Come on. This is embarrassing. I mean,
there's a difference between loving yourself and thinking that you're great and actually thinking that you're better than other people. And the difference with narcissists is that they're visibly bored if the topic of conversation turns away from themselves. They'll cut other people down because they want to make themselves look better. And they need to feel special.
All right, now that we've ticked that box, let's
Sammy won with that one.
All right, so what's the next one up?
Okay, so next we have sociopaths. So sociopaths have a persuasive disregard for the law. They don't believe the rules apply to them, which...
50 is just a stupid number. I should be able to go faster because I'm a better driver than everyone.
Yeah, I mean, there's stupid laws, and then there's like breaking all laws. So sociopaths will commit a lot more crimes. They lack empathy. They can make bonds with people, and they do care about like their family or their partners, but the rest of the world they don't give a crap about. And so they're quite happy to steal your money, rob you, con you, do whatever it is it takes to get what they want out of you. But they may feel a slight bit of guilt about it. So they do have a conscience, although it's a weak one.
Okay, so a sociopath is not as bad as a narcissist.
Well... A sociopath, well, it depends on what type they are. But there's different subcategories of narcissism, which I have written all down for you guys. But we won't go too deep into it.
But so far, hang on, we've got narcissist. Then we're working our way up the scale of badness, right? Sociopath. Yeah. What's the Ted Bundy of this thing?
Okay, so the thing is, like with sociopaths and psychopaths, they're never diagnosed as that. Doctors don't diagnose them as that. What they diagnose them as having antisocial personality disorder. So the worst of them all is the psychopath. The psychopath does not have empathy.
So that's your serial killer.
That's your serial killer.
Gotcha.
That is someone who just... the thing with psychopaths is they tend to be narcissistic. All psychopaths are sociopaths. So all psychopaths are sociopaths, but not all sociopaths are psychopaths.
Okay, but the other thing is that psychopaths aren't all murderers, and some of them are living amongst us.
Yeah. Well, 1% of the population are psychopaths.
So what's that? What is 1% of our population? How many psychopaths?
That's about 50,000 people.
50,000 psychopaths.
Yes.
So I'm reading the traits here, like lack of guilt, lack of empathy, lack of emotional attachments, narcissism, superficial charm, dishonesty, manipulative, reckless risk-taking. So can you have different elements of a psychopath, like a corporate psychopath, for example? Because that sounds like some people that I've seen operate in and around certain areas where I might spend
We've all
some time.
had a boss that there's so many people. What's your boss like? He, she, a psychopath.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
surely some of these traits are also, they help people in their jobs.
Well, 21% of CEOs are psychopaths or show psychopaths. Yeah, because they can do very well. So it doesn't mean they're necessarily murderers, but they don't really care if they murder people. They literally don't have empathy. And the interesting thing is, like with a psychopath, is you can spot them by doing a brain scan. They can tell who's a psychopath and who isn't.
Wow, so
Really?
it's mechanically different.
They are mechanically different and wired differently.
Okay.
And what happens, so they do a brain scan on them, they show them photos of like murder scenes, car accidents, horrible stuff that the average person, your emotional centers of your brain light up, your heart will beat, your nervous system will react in fight or flight. But with a psychopath, they calm down.
All right. Okay, listen, we've got to get a nice happy song on because you need a bit of Taylor Swift after this kind of chat. Look,
Psychopaths, she's a psychopath, that Taylor Swift.
yes, exactly. We'd love to, look, if you think your friend's a serial killer, call the police. But if it's your boss or someone in your life,
Let us know.
yeah, we want to analyse them for you. Just give us a few of their behaviours, and Caroline will do a little bit of analysis.
And more than that, she's going to analyse us a little bit, and she's going to give us a little insight if we are showing any psychopathic tendencies as well.
I feel like a narcissist. No, we're here with Caroline Cranshaw, who is here to describe the difference between a narcissist, a sociopath, and a psychopath. And we are learning a lot of things. Sam has tendencies in all categories.
No, hang on.
And Todd is a psychopath. So it's been a really busy morning.
Let's start with that, Caroline. When you walk into the studio, you know us a fair bit. What do you get from us? Do you pick up any of these tendencies?
No, I don't. Well, I think...
Come on.
I think there's some narcissistic tendencies, and I have some narcissistic tendencies, so I am not putting anyone down or judging anyone for that. I think you can't be in media without having narcissistic tendencies. But I don't see any sociopathic or psychopathic
Not even with
traits.
Todd?
No, because he's still
Okay.
empathetic. He listens to other people. He's not all about himself. He's not going around breaking the law constantly, as far as I can see.
Yeah, get away. I'm just good.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't say anyone in this room has a diagnosable personality disorder.
So who are some famous examples of a narcissist, a psychopath, and a sociopath?
Okay, so a very good example of a psychopath would be Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was
Issues there.
very-
Who's Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy's a serial killer in
Oh,
America
okay.
and very good looking.
very good looking.
Oh, yeah, the one that all the girls swoon over and they do his tour and stuff. I understand.
So he killed over 30 women, but he was very intelligent, very charming, and women would go willingly with him, and he would, just kill them like animals. If you want to watch a really interesting documentary on him, there's one that I think it's the Case Files of Ted Bundy on Netflix.
There's so much content about Ted Bundy at the moment.
It's amazing.
Kids, there's two.
He
big
represented himself in court, and it was just to watch him cross-examining a witness, one of his victims, was just unbelievable.
So does that make him a psychopath with narcissistic tendencies?
So all psychopaths do have narcissistic tendencies.
right.
They absolutely do. They do believe they're better than other people. And what's interesting about them is they watch people and they know that they're different. So they'll act and they'll feed back to people how they behave. So psychopaths are brilliant at making people fall in love with them because they'll just tell them everything they want to hear. And they're figuring out what makes you tick, how to manipulate you, because you're basically just a pawn.
Wow.
Whatever they can do to use you or...
That is the art of
fascinating.
content directing, by the way. Hey, just a couple of examples. So of recent times, let's think of a few recent examples. What about that horrendous monster, Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, I would say he would be a sociopathic narcissist because he had no regard for other people's feelings or no empathy for how he was affecting these women that he was assaulting. I would say there's a U.S. president who would be a sociopathic narcissist. Absolutely.
we won't name names, but I think we all know who you're talking about. And what about anyone in New Zealand that you can think of? We don't have to go down the politician route because I feel like that might be the easy out. But is there anyone else that you can think of that might be particularly a sociopath?
I don't really want to name.
Give a category.
I can think of.
You already said Sam's not, though.
No, it's no one in this
She
room.
was looking straight at him when
Yeah,
she
I
said
could-
me. Did your eyes widen when you looked at me?
Not you. I said no one in this room.
I'm sure as
I'm
hell
saying
not.
anything.
Thank you very much. A very intriguing chat this morning. So these personalities, it was 1% of the population.
And
So
we've just
that's a
proven
lot.
one of them's in our building.
No, I haven't proven anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I said nothing.
We'll catch you shortly. Caroline Cranshaw here at The Hits.